I wanted to do a review. And this was one of the four figures I have on hand, and I wanted to review it. This is, well, I wouldn't say custom since I don't want to be rude to the business, but this is my original Magnios Nucleus with a bit of Chop Shop and Skullgrin, which I truly enjoy this figure. I also have his hammer, which I like to call the Magnum Hammer, similar to the Magnus Hammer, since I did watch Transformers Animated a lot. But, the main reason I am recording this is because I wanted to start a review channel, and I was intending on this being my first video. I don't know if I'll post this though, since I'm a bit anxious about everything, but, you know. He has all the same points of articulation, except I gave him an arm on the back. And also I tried making him as asymmetrical as safely possible for the toy, since I just enjoy asymmetrical designs. So, yeah. Then we have Skullgrin, who I personally love. I know a lot of people don't really like this figure, but I love them. I frankly find them great in all aspects. As you can see, I kind of got them in this feral, I'm gonna kill you stance, which I really like. I'm very proud of myself. And I do actually have the original Power of the Primes somewhere, and I do truly love this figure. So, yes. I don't really have anything to say. I mean, I saw one of my favorite YouTubers hate on it, and I was like, oh, did they butcher my boy? So I was like, hey, might as well get it. And then I got it, and it was great. Loved it. I also love the sword-wielding wrists right there. Also, is it just me, or did I always think that... Oh, sorry. Camera was out of focus. I'm recording this on my phone. So sorry. But, is it just me, or did I always feel like he would be like a mix between an Oni and a samurai? I'm not from that culture, but from what I've seen throughout his several interpretations, whether he has a giant claw weapon or has a sword and guns, I always just felt like he would have that type of presence, Like he would be on the battlefield and he would like do like a little ritual or something. I don't really know. Then we have Ferrak, who, frankly, I love how it looks like Skullgrin's gonna hit him in the back. I really like. I also gave him Metal Hawk's sword and a blast effect. Well, I guess that would be an impact effect from the Insecticon pack from Doom and Destruction. I also gave him Metal Hawk shoulder guns and... Oop, almost fell there. I'm not very good at posing my figures, if you couldn't tell. I gave him his back gun, which I love, and I feel it adds character. I also like how you can transform the thruster in his arm and make it look like he has a handgun. A lot of people say that this is the weakest of the Cyclonus retools, and then Metal Hawk, which I also have. Fun fact, I also had the Power of the Primes. I almost had Age of the Primes. Age of the Primes isn't even out yet. Power of the Primes, Metal Hawk, so as you can tell, Metal Hawk and Skullgrin are my bread and butter. I know, ironic. But overall, I love this little dude, even though he's a Voyager and not quite little, unlike Core Class Megatron or Galvatron, or is that Galvatron? Or is that Megatron? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I have, never watched... What, was it from Cybertron? Enertron? I have never watched that show. I do intend on it, but right now I'm rewatching Robots in Disguise 2001 and Transformers Go with my brother. Then we have the man, the myth, the legend. Let me get Magneos's arm off of him. We're good. We're good. Peg's still there. Blitzwing, who I actually find great to flip between tank and robot mode, but I never want to flip him between modes. I also like how with this you can replicate the 86 movie. I don't have Cup though. Ironic. But I do really like this, and contrary to most people's opinions, I really like these gauntlet things, but what would make me like them a lot more is if they tapped into the arms. I was mid-transforming him for the review, and he looks so funny with his legs like this. Okay, back to transforming him. Off camera, of course. I'm not doing all that. I'm not putting on his other gauntlets. Okay, maybe I somewhat lied. But I mean, can you really blame me? Like, this figure is so unbelievably cool. This isn't actually on there, this is just kind of hanging off of there. But I just, oh, whoops, his cap is kind of, but I really just love this guy. Now, if you're an articulation junkie, you may not like any of these figures. I personally love them. Although I will say that mine didn't come with a sword. So, no sword. But honestly, I never really saw Astro Train, or not Astro Train. I never really saw Blitzwing as the melee guy. I always saw him as more of the guy who uses long-ranged weapons at close range. And I always saw Astro Train, the person to use melee in all sorts of weird ways. I don't know. Just my personal headcanon. Although, you can give him a small machine gun to be an homage to his gorgeous husband, Astro Train, who I sadly don't have. But if I ever have an opportunity to get Siege Astro Train, I will gladly, because I need to get this man his husband. Because I don't know. Husband. But, yeah. That's my first video. So, whoop-de-doo, boo. I don't know. I don't know how to end a video. Also, Magneos' arm. Wow, the camera automatically blurred. It was like, nuh-uh, that's gory. Well, too bad. You're gonna see a severed limb. There is actually lore behind that. Oh my god, will you focus, camera? There we go, it finally focused. But, there's actually lore behind this mode. Since, basically, I made, like, this whole thing where, like, all of the different, Infernac guys, or, like, bots from all sorts of different tribes, and this guy, who, the reason why I call it the Magnum Hammer is because I called this guy Onyx Magnum. Magnum basically being the Magneos version of a Prime. And probably wondering why I say Magneos instead of Rock Lord. It is because each of them have their own different hierarchies. But him and a Nucleus, who I like to think is a mutation from, well, the rocks that make these guys up being, attached or corrupted by Nucleus, or Nucleon. I can't remember which one is it, but I think this one's Nucleon, and the ore is Nucleus, but you know what I mean. And I was thinking that, what if this guy kind of united the whole species? So Onyx Magnum was severely damaged because some bonehead decided to destroy their planet of Geokai, which is my version of their planet. Since, and they also stole some of his weapons. Basically, the lore between this guy and this guy is Skullgrin led a team of insectoids, as I call them, before they became Insecticons. And this guy is part of a species called the Necrocons, or the Necrotrons. I don't know, I'm still working on the name. Basically, guys made out of bones, or primarily bones. And this guy led the assault on Geokai. And then Onyx Magnum was like, I refuse to allow you to bring harm upon my planet, Skullgrin. And Skullgrin was like, oh, really? Well, last I checked, you're all a bunch of trolls. And then they got into an epic fight, but then he got messed up. And the thing that caused the unity was when a Nucleon was like, hey, we're all made out of rocks. Why should we be a bunch of different tribes and stuff? And then made Onyx Magnum. And then they went and were like, yeah. And boom. I don't know, I'm still working on the story's lore. I just like imbuing my lore upon these pieces of plastic. Delicious. But for real, goodbye. First vid over.